Hey folks, welcome back to the farm. So today I wanted to make a quick video showing how we've been using the composite posts on our fencing project here through our NRCS grant. So what we've got here, like I said, is a composite post. It's sort of like a plasticky material. And the way that we've been using these is kind of like a stave or a spacer for the fence wires. And these allow us to space our wooden posts further apart. So by the NRCS specs, you can put your wooden posts up to 50 feet apart. But if you use something like this, you can space them however far apart you want, so long as these are able to do the job. Now, obviously, these are not nearly as stiff as a wooden post, so if you're going like up and over a hill, you definitely want a wood post at the top of the hill. You don't want to put one of these, because once you tension down your wires, this thing is just going to start bending right over, especially if you've got 6 strands of wire like we've got right here behind me. But if you have a nice flat area and you just want to, stretch those wooden posts out as far as you can, these work great. Also, sometimes if you just have a little bit of a rise in between 2 wood posts, you can use this to lift your wires up a little bit. You just can't go too far, otherwise these will definitely start to bend. Now what I'm going to show you today is actually the reverse, and I haven't really tried this out yet, but I think this should work. This is the middle woods. This is where I'm going to be running some pigs here this summer. And right here, we've got a pretty good gap between our bottom wire and the ground. So this bottom wire should be about 6 inches off the ground. It should be down around there, but it's actually closer to a foot off the ground. So I think what I'm going to try doing is using one of these composite posts to bring probably just these bottom 3 wires down a little bit. Since it's just going to be pigs that I'm trying to keep in here, I really don't need all 6 of these to be perfectly spaced through here. And again, because this doesn't get driven into the ground very far and it's not a very big post, I'm a little concerned that if I put all 6 of these on, it might actually start to pull the composite post out of the ground. So we're just going to do the bottom ones, see how that works, and it'll show you guys what the process is for using these. So the first thing you're going to do is grab your T-post driver and your stake and get your post lined right up where you want it. And then I'm just going to lean into the wires here to get them out of the way. I think I'm hitting a rock or something. It's wanting to go sideways. All right. I think that should be about good for height. You can definitely tell it's leaning into those wires, but I think that'll be okay. So what we're doing next is these do not come with any holes pre-drilled in them, because of course the manufacturer doesn't know what your spacing is going to be for the holes for your wires. So we got I believe it's a 7 30-seconds drill bit on here, and these bottom 3 should be at 6, 12, and 18 for the spacing that we've got on this run of fence. All right. Now, because these posts are, like I said, they're kind of a plastic material, this is your insulator. You don't need any sort of line insulators like you do with your wooden post. And then, so the way that we hook our wires to the post is it's a cotter pin. So what you can do is you put your wire through your cotter pin. You put your cotter pin through your hole like that, and then you can just bend the ends of your cotter pin around your wire. And actually, you know what I just did? I put that in the wrong hole. Let's redo that one. Alright, and like I said, once you put your cotter pin through there, you just take this, wrap that around your wire. That holds that in place. And just like that, you got your wire held in place on your composite post. So we'll repeat that 2 more times for these other 2 wires to bring these down, and then I think that will do it for this little section right here where the wires are a bit too high. Alrighty, that'll do it. So that gets our wires down lower, so hopefully the pigs aren't going to try scooting underneath it. At least it'll make it more, it'll deter them a little bit more from wanting to attempt to try and go underneath. Once we get this electric, it should be good and hot, but you want to make sure that visibly it doesn't look to them like they can go underneath. You want it nice and tight to the ground through here. So that should do the trick. I think this should be fine up here. They don't normally try and go over top of wires, so I'm not too concerned about having this gap in here. I think that should be fine with just having these 3 bottom ones here. So hopefully that was sort of interesting and informative on how these composite posts work. If you have any questions, throw those down in the comments and I will try and do my best to answer those. So as always, I appreciate you guys watching, and I will see you next time.